Good morning, class. This is my video post for discussion question number 4 for our Counseling in Human Sexuality class, which states there are several issues that cause sexual disconnect. Based on your reading from McElhaney and Bush, what do you feel has the greatest impact on our children today? Based according to the reading of Hooked, How Casual Sex is Affecting Our Children, I'm a firm believer that the inability to bond has the greatest impact on our children. And the authors went ahead to state the following quote: the inability to bond after multiple sex encounters is almost like tape that loses its stickiness after being applied and removed several times. The authors go on to state that though vasopressin has not been studied as much as oxytocin, we know it clearly plays an important role in sexual bonding and bonding between fathers and children. As with oxytocin, this mechanism is extremely important for the proper care of children. If a man and woman are emotionally bonded when pregnancy is achieved and then children are born, the children have a greater chance of being raised by their two biological parents, both whom are attached to them, increasing their chance of survival, good health, and a productive future. And that's quoted from pages 42, and 43. With that being said, I'm a firm believer that bonding plays such an important role because it has the effect of the children, and you can see it in many aspects. Based on what I've seen in my community as well as in my church, I've found that children who come from a more stable background, where bonding has been established, the children are much happier. They have a greater self esteem about themselves. Their overall demeanor is happier. And then I've also noticed that those children who may come from a single parent home or from a home where there's not as much bonding. I've seen that the child is more despondent. Sometimes they're more prone to behavioral issues, and they overall have a defect. A defect, and not a defect, but their self-esteem is deflated. And you can see the differences when you can tell that true and honest bonding has been occurring between the child and between the family. And with that being said, I'm a firm believer that casual sex does play a role in that, because if we think about it from our reading from Carol from Sexuality Now, she indicated how when college age students, they perform a lot of hookups. In the event that a pregnancy would occur from that particular hookup, the bonding may not be as strong, because the student or the person that's in the relationship might not have seen the seriousness of the relationship, or it was just something just to do, or for whatever their meanings might be behind the hookup, that can play that effect on the child, and the child will receive the effects of that particular quote unquote hookup that their parents had encountered, which may result in the inability to bond with the child because of the nature of how the child came about. However, if we think about it in a marriage relationship, where Carol also talks about marriage, she does state that there is more satisfying when there is more sexuality in the relationship. There's a positive correlation between sexuality and a positive relationship. If a child is stemmed from that bracket, then you will be able to see the overall ability for the child to be able to bond with the parents, which makes it more holistic for the child. So, with those correlations being said, I'm a firm believer that casual sex does have a correlation in regards to how it affects the child. The correlation of casual sex, whether it was, like I stated before, just a hookup, or whether it was just something that was like a one night stand, those things have a greater capacity on children versus those that are in a more stable relationship or in a marriage, where you can see how the long lasting sexuality of that relationship can also cause an effect on how our children are. Thank you so much for listening to this post, and I do look forward to seeing all of you guys soon. Take care and have a great day.